To Gaza now, where there is a desperate need for more aid to reach civilians living under Israeli bombardment, like medical supplies to help pregnant women and their babies, 20,000 of whom have been born since the war began, and food for which there are long queues of people clutching empty pans. Israel insists there is no food shortage in Gaza. UNICEF told us a very different story. They say there is a serious risk of famine.
It's only a thin gruel, but it's all there is, and it's finished. But the queue is still long. There not being enough food to go round has become a familiar story in Gaza. Because the aid on which all these people now rely comes in via crossing points in the south, the most acute shortages are in the furthest flung northern part of the Strip, where more than 200,000 people remain and where these pictures were filmed. The appearance of a single aid lorry precipitates what looks like a breakdown in law and order as people compete so as not to miss out. In this active war zone, fear in the pit of the stomach has been joined by the emptiness that is hunger. 10-year-old Ali Abu Asser says it's humiliating queuing for food and that sometimes he walks away empty-handed. He says this is his only option and that not being successful here means going without. The United Nations is doing most of the heavy lifting at a time when the need in Gaza has never been greater. The UN and Israel have always had a fraught relationship, and they are at odds over the starvation issue with diametrically opposing views.
There's real serious risk of famine here. Every family that I spoke to told me about how little they were eating. Mothers were crying, saying that they couldn't get enough food for their children.
The reserves in the Gaza Strip are sufficient for the near term. There is no food shortage in Gaza.
Not knowing where the next meal is coming from is the latest hardship being faced by families living rough because they've been bombed out of home. Fida Sobo, a mother of 7, says she believes Israel is bent on the destruction of Gaza and its people.
Israeli forces try to kill everything in Gaza. Everything, life, dreams, children's memories, also the land.
A ceasefire would ease the suffering, but the Israeli Prime Minister said last night that the war could go on for months.